Alright, so here's our big data sheet again. It's a spreadsheet. This is Excel. Some of you may have downloaded working in numbers. A lot of the commands are still the same. And the first thing I'm going to do is just teach you a few new tricks on sorting out data. So I've noticed that the country names here in column A, it looks alphabetical order, but then you have this U, so from Arab world to United Arab Emirates, okay? And so it looks like this data set is sorted out not by country name, although nearly. It actually is. Can you see the actual country code? ARE is United Arab Emirates here. So actually I'm going to highlight the whole of 4 here, and I am going to go data, and I'm going to click on this filter. And so that puts a filter in. Now that filter will hopefully sort out all the data below. And I'm going to click on this down arrow for the filter, and I'm going to click on sort ascending. And can you see a few things change there? And now can you see United Arab Emirates has disappeared from here, and hopefully it's gone all the way down to the bottom under the U's, there it is, United Arab Emirates. So remember it was at the top before because of the country code here, ARE, but we probably are going to search up the countries by their names. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing is I'm going to go to Cambodia. Again, you can scroll up and down here, but now you've got the filters on, you can actually click here, and you can click in the search bar, Cambodia, and it should go straight to it. And we can just select Cambodia, and that should take us directly to the actual country itself. Let me make this big, and that's just selected Cambodia only. So by using filtering, you can actually really drill into the individual country you want, and that has a lot of advantage, right, when you're going to try and copy and paste some of the numbers, because these are the only numbers that appear in my window now. So that was, let's do it again. If you click on 4, the whole row, and you go to the data tab on the top, and then you select the filter, you add a filter, right? I've taken it off because I already had it on. So click again, and then all these little drop down arrows will allow you to sort alphabetically. If I click on 1990 and sort from Z to A, you can see it's descending. So actually this is the biggest forest covering. This is actually the whole world, right? But this number here is low and mid. It looks like these are kind of various areas. So Europe and Central Asia, look at this. So actually, in terms of the first country we see is Brazil. So the first country we see, the highest forested area is Brazil, even though we know Brazil's losing its rainforest. So anyway, let's go back again to filter here and sort A to Z, and we're back to where we need. And then click on here again, and then search here, Cambodia, and that is selected for us. So let's go get 1990, as we know. Let's open up a new tab on the bottom with a little plus. I'm going to click in some clear space. I'm going to go back to my data. I'm going to go to 2005. And now, I don't know where I put that first bit of data because I didn't name the sheet. So if you double click on here, then I'm going to name this Cambodia. You could call it 3 countries maybe, because you're going to put 3 countries data in here. Let's go back to the data and let's get 2020. And you see how it's nice to have that filter just a single country, so you know for sure that you're getting Cambodia's data. I'm going to put on here, let me just make this bigger so you can see a bit better. View 150, that's better. Maybe a bit bigger, view 200. So this is 1990, this is 2005, this is 2020. Alright, the first thing I'm going to do is going to make this look good. This is year, this is forest land area in kilometers squared, and this is percentage change. And now we're going to highlight all of this, and now under the home tab you will find a lot of good features to make this look nicer. And the first thing I'm going to do is put it all into the center, and the center of the cell, and then on the right here is wrap text. Can you see what that does? makes all the text visible. And then I'm going to put some nice borders around it. So underneath the Calibri body, the actual font, you should have this little option here. You can all borders here, and if you want to, then you can do a thick outside border. So that's what it looks like. Looks pretty good. Maybe make this bold. So this is now presentation. Now if you want to change the size, the width of the column, when you kind of hover over between C and D, you get this little crosshair, and you can just make this a little bit bigger, and you can even make it that big if you want. Don't have to make it that big. So that's all down to your personal preference. And now the formulas. So in here, this is the percentage change in 2005 as compared to 1990. Okay, so in here we want equals, open bracket, new, subtract, old, close bracket, divided by old. So new subtract old is how much the change is, and that could be negative, remember. If it goes down, this will be a negative number. And then divided by old, because we want to make it as a percentage, and then of course times by 100, enter. And then the same thing here, equals new divided by old, but in brackets, because of the laws of bid mass. If we didn't put a bracket there, we'd be dividing just the old. So new, new subtract old, right? Okay, that's good. And then divided by old. And you see actually the colours in the formula match the colours of the highlighted cell. So you should be able to check visually with the colours whether you've got the right subtraction and the correct division. Now this is times by 100. Beautiful. And then if I highlight these two cells, I'm going to decrease the decimal points. And this general thing here, you should have one of these buttons will increase the decimal points. Right, it looks a bit crazy, and one will decrease them. So I think I'll just take it down to 1 decimal place. Now I might just change these cell sizes. Can you see if I just do one at once, it changes individual cells. But if I highlight all 3 columns and I change one of them, it changes all 3 to the same size. And that can be nice if you want a consistent width to the columns. So let's interpret these answers. This is for Cambodia, so maybe I'll put Cambodia here. So we've got it. I'll make that bold. And I'll put it in the center. And so for Cambodia, in 2005, the forest land covering reduced by 2.9% as compared to 1990. And in 2020, the forest land area had decreased, because it's negative, by 26.7% as compared to 1990. So that's quite a significant change. Now thinking on, you might, for your 3 countries, want to put them in a single table. Right. So I'm going to do that text wrap again. I'm going to put this here. And you'll see what I'm doing. Center, center. Wrap text again. And put the borders round, all borders. And make it a thick border. And I'm going to copy this across. Command C, Command V for me. And then I'm going to change this to 2020. And can you see what I'm doing now? I'm actually going to put all my 3 countries in one table. So for Cambodia, it's negative 2.9. And we found a typo. Oh, yes. Okay. Okay. So I've got the actual comma as a decimal point on my keyboard. So I could change the settings, but I'll leave it like this. This is negative 26.7. And then maybe my other countries here. Maybe I've got Brazil in here. Maybe I've got Guatemala in here, and maybe that's a nice table to put in your report, because you've got a nice summary of all 3 countries and the percentage change in land area. So for sure you'll have one of these tables for each of your countries, and you could put that into your report if you like, but this is nice as well, isn't it? Because in terms of presenting the data, you've got all 3 countries nicely lined up with each other with the percentage change comparisons. All right, so I hope that helps. Take note about the top tips from the spreadsheet and have a great weekend.